Greetings, fellow seekers of happiness. Tonight we are going to briefly talk about what happens when you meditate, and then we're going to look at the two most useful and fastest forms of meditation stroke relaxation, because these serve double purpose. So what happens when you meditate is that as an adult, when we are thinking, our brain apparently, when it's hooked up to an electroencephalograph, an EEG, it's one of those things with those pads and the wires sticking out. Maybe they do it by Bluetooth nowadays, I don't know. It registers certain frequencies at a certain amount of cycles per second, and if you are experiencing extreme rage, then it's around 20 cycles per second. I'm not sure cycles of what. It's all there on the internet if you're really curious. Normal thinking is around 12 to 13 cycles per second. When you get creative and you start daydreaming, wandering around, and leave all your conscious thoughts behind, that drops to, I'm gonna sort of guess here, between 9 and 12 or 8 and 12 cycles per second. And that is referred to as their alpha waves. Beta waves are the higher ones. Then gamma waves, which are normal sleep, and the border between that and alpha waves is REM sleep. That's about 7 cycles per second. And below 4 is delta sleep, which you only experience for less than 1 hour each night, and that's when your body floods with human growth hormone, which is usually at around 4 a.m. And this is the topic of another video, but it is very important that you get your human growth hormone. And some people say that as long as you sleep for more than 4 hours at a stretch, you'll get it. Others say no, you've got to be asleep at your equivalent of 4 a.m. Don't know, I'll do a bit of research before I start saying anything about that. But anyway, what happens when you meditate is that you go from the beta wave, 12 cycles per second, hopefully not at 20, hopefully you're not in a rage, and you drop into alpha waves, which you can do with mindfulness, coloring, or if you're getting creative, but this is a forced basically forcing your brain to slow down. What happens from something that you can register with, in other words, something that you can be aware of, is different, because you don't know what clock speed your brain's going at, do you? You've got no idea. It's not like your heart, where you can measure it and say, oh yeah, it's now down from 80 beats per minute to 65 beats per minute. This is not measurable for you. You need one of those EEG things. But what happens is that, one, your body should relax. It doesn't always, because sometimes physical meditations involve you doing something, so your body can't fully relax. But if you are doing a visual one, a visual meditation, or a listening meditation, or an internal thinking meditation, then your body should relax. And some kinesthetic ones, such as when you are just touching things, your body can and should relax. And the important thing is that, one, you do not go flying off into another universe. You do not experience extreme bliss, but you do experience a lot of tranquility. Now, there is one side effect which some people report, and it can distress them, and that is you can find old memories surfacing up. The transcendental meditation people say that this is all part of the process, and that what is happening is your unconscious stroke subconscious mind is clearing out the rubbish. it's helping you to not remember them, it's helping you to get rid of them, to neutralize them, and you do so. And you do it under hypnosis when you go to a hypnotist as well. They will make you do the same thing. You face the past. So you are asked to, deliberately under hypnosis, you are asked to think of a time when you experienced this, that, and the other, and then you modify that memory. That does not happen under meditation. What happens when you are meditating is that this just happens, and some people find themselves reliving arguments, reliving things that they've completely forgotten about, and that is a good thing actually, because it will cease troubling you. Proof of this is the parallel experience where you may find yourself living through a confrontation that is yet to happen. And I'll give you one example from my own experience. I knew that I had to go and see my line manager at one point the next day, and so I started to meditate to calm myself down about it because I was getting anxious. And of course, while I was meditating, I started imagining the confrontation that was going to happen. And for me, it was a 20 minutes of tension. So I remembered what my teacher told me, that this is a perfectly normal thing to happen. And I mentioned it next time I went to see the teacher. And his question was, so how did the actual interview go? And when I thought about it, actually it went very well. I was very calm. And none of the anticipated unpleasantness happened. And he said, so there you go, that's what was happening. And your own demeanor during the interview led to that successful outcome. And that behavior, that demeanor of yours, was due to the fact that you meditated the night before. Tell me, he said, tell me, in the past, have you been confrontational? And I said, well, I wouldn't say confrontational, but I have been a little bit sensitive about things that have been said to me, with good reason, as it turned out, based on previous experience. And he said, well, those were times past, and your unconscious mind knew that, so you were filtering it out, and you had a successful interview. And I've got to confess that it made sense. So every time I was facing a difficult situation in the future, I would do some extra long meditations, and this helped me face those awkward situations much more calmly, much more serenely. So that is what will happen when, excuse me, alarm going off, when you meditate. You may find yourself dredging up things which are not exactly wonderful experiences. In fact, the exact opposite of being taken up to nirvana stroke, cloud nine stroke, paradise stroke, whatever it is that other people tell you happen. Okay, 8 minutes and 27 seconds. Right, the two forms of meditation which also act as relaxation, they're almost instant, but obviously with meditation you have to keep it up for around 10, 12, 15 to 20 minutes. First of all, breathing. Breathe in. Feel the tension in your shoulders dropping as you breathe out. And then when you finish breathing out, breathing in, hold, but focus on the breathing in and the holding and the breathing out. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Okay, meditation number 2, which you can, is a feeling meditation, and that is, you'll need to be sitting down or maybe lying down for this, but you feel your feet against the floor, again, almost instant relaxation, but the mindfulness is the meditation here. You, again, if you can, close your eyes, but say you're in your office and you want to do this, you can do it by staring at the screen, assuming you're not in a call center and you've got a screen that you can pretend you're looking at, and then you feel the chair against the backs of your legs, against the small of your back and your shoulders, against your forearms, maybe your hands on the desk, and you cycle through, becoming aware of the sensation of the floor, of the chair against your legs, against your back, against your forearms and elbows, against your hands. And you dwell there for 4, 5, 6 seconds. You become aware of the tingling in your feet. Become aware of the sensation of pressure against the backs of your legs and against the small of your back. Become aware of the pressure in your shoulders draining down your spine. You can almost feel that pressure falling out down into the chair, into the floor. You're staring. It's okay to blink. It's not an eyeballing contest. It's okay to smile. You're being mindful. But because your focus is shifting all the time, your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, does not have time to panic because you are focusing on one thing. And you do that for as long as you feel comfortable. Any more than 17 minutes is usually a bit long. Some people can go for 20 minutes, but here's the strange thing about meditation. You can meditate too long and you will feel quite tired afterwards. So by process of experimentation, you can find out where your happy zone is. Usually it's between 12 and 17 minutes, 14, 15. And again, your brain will know when to wake you up from it, but you'll feel refreshed afterwards. You'll feel very, very refreshed. Okay, but they are instant relaxation methods and they are meditation methods as well. Again, with the breathing, you become aware of the air going in, the air going out. And by focusing on that, you defocus on the sources of stress around you, on those things which are less than beneficial from a happiness point of view. And oh my goodness, I have shot over again. It is almost 13 minutes. Hope that's been useful. So tomorrow we will look at a couple more methods of meditation which are not physical and not involving breathing, and so then you'll have 4 or 5 methods to choose from and to find one which you like. Okay, have a happy and stress-free evening, and here's to your greater happiness.